In his book, What Happened to You?, American psychiatrist Bruce Perry takes a look back from the modern age to the traditional world of earlier cultures. He writes, "For thousands upon thousands of years, people lived in small intergenerational groups. There were no psychiatric hospitals, but there was a lot of trauma. I assume that many of our ancestors experienced post-traumatic problems, anxiety, depression, sleep disorders. But I also assume that they experienced healing. Our species could not have survived if a large proportion of our traumatized ancestors had lost their ability to function well. The pillars of traditional healing were, first, connection to the clan and the natural world. Second, the regulation of rhythm through dancing, drumming and singing. Third, a set of beliefs, values and stories that gave meaning to even senseless, random traumas. And fourth, occasionally natural hallucinogens or other herbal substances used under the guidance of a healer or elder to facilitate healing. It makes the world of shamanism a little easier to understand. Bonds and relationships, reliability and trust as a basis. Rhythm, such as day and night, inhaling and exhaling, activity and rest, which are reflected in drumming and dancing, basically mean adapting to the biorhythm. Beliefs, values and stories are something that can be recognized not only in everyday life, but also in the philosophy of the medicine wheel, and hallucinogens provide answers to the incomprehensible. The latter can also be achieved through trance, a state that is in turn facilitated by rhythms. The medicine wheel is a model designed to make the incomprehensible comprehensible. It offers explanations and orientation. If you strip away all folklore, culture and embellishments, it is simply a circle with a point in the center. The inner point is the portal to the divine. In our three-dimensional world, the medicine wheel is seen as a sphere that encompasses the lower and upper worlds. Heaven and earth are thus integrated. The cardinal points of east, south, west and north are naturally included, and one imagines that the forces of the opposite cardinal points are connected to each other by direct paths, resulting in a cross within the circle. The south-north connection symbolizes our consciousness, the connection to our soul self. On this path, we gain access to all parts of ourselves and regain seemingly lost aspects of ourselves that we had split off or buried somewhere within. The east-west axis reminds us that we are here to have our earthly experiences, to grow and to develop. The apparent opposites of the respective polarities unite in the center. The medicine wheel can exist in fantasy or trance as well as in the physical reality. Although the spiritual imagination is already useful, but to benefit from it, it is still worth seeking out an existing one or creating one yourself. Repeat the journey through the spiritual medicine wheel in the physical, or conversely, the experience in the physical medicine wheel in the spiritual. Deepen the experience and consolidate it. If you don't have the necessary piece of land, a garden would do, you can make one for yourself at home. Use natural materials, earth, wood, stones, leaves, feathers, whatever best symbolizes the forces of nature for you. I've asked course participants to look for 3 objects in nature that appeal to them and bring them back to the camp. Without exception, they all intuitively brought 3 things from different realms that together represent a certain wholeness. A stone from the mineral kingdom, a few hairs or feathers from the animal kingdom, a leaf, a flower or a stick from the plant kingdom. Nobody came back with 3 stones. Walking the medicine wheel clockwise energizes you. If you walk the circle of the medicine wheel counterclockwise, you release superfluous energy, stress and tension. But where else should you start but at the center? At the center of this signpost through the spiritual world, you are like a child who is in the magical thinking phase and relates everything to itself. But you don't stay there, at least not permanently, just as you don't stay the same throughout your life. The transformation takes place in the center, but the input comes from outside. If we lock a child permanently in a room alone, the child will not develop in the same way as in an environment full of impressions and stimuli in which it is constantly inspired, challenged and encouraged. Activation through influences increases intelligence and the ability to act, as well as life satisfaction. So we leave the center regularly. But how do we get there in the first place? Jump right into it? That won't work if you are in a trance. Practiced shamans can do it, but any jolt, any sudden movement will immediately bring the untrained out of the trance. The simplest solution is to enter it from the south. In doing so, you leave the physical world and enter the inner world. If you want to enter the center, you should do so from the south. On the way from south to north, you move from the physical realm towards the spiritual realm, where you meet yourself in the center anyway. This could be written on your reminder note that you put in your trouser pocket during the reality check in your waking state before entering the trance. Head south, it could say. If you're wondering right now, excuse me, what's this about a trouser pocket? Then you find the answer in video 2 of this series, which explains how you can learn to control your dreams from your sleep. The medicine wheel serves as a kind of compass for life and provides the tools we need. We leave nothing out and move not only in all directions, but also in the upper and lower worlds. This is how we become complete and harmonize all aspects of life within us. If we approach the medicine wheel from our everyday life, our material existence, the gateway is therefore the south. Although you can approach it from any direction you wish, we choose the south because it stands for a stabilized personality, and in such a state, it is easier to enter new territory. This gateway gives us the necessary energy for the rest of the journey when we enter it. Here in the south, we have a firm belief that everything we start will bear fruit. In other words, strength and self-confidence. One of the lessons of the south is that we are better off together than alone. The time of midday, when the sun is at its zenith, is also the time of maturity, midlife and adulthood. In adolescence, we realize the value of stable relationships and mutual support. The southern essence strengthens solidarity and a sense of community, dating and bonding. We learn to appreciate the value of working together as well as celebrating together. We learn to rely on each other, to grow together and to love each other. But it is also about material things. The idea of the youth and the East must mature, meaning be realized. Tackling and building is the order of the day. It is easiest when the heart is involved and passion drives us. Now it's all about turning your ideas into reality. And there are always some less pleasant ones among them. Building castles in the clouds is one thing, but laying a foundation is quite something else. You yourself are responsible in the southern time. If you don't tackle the task, it won't happen. Or, as Erich Kästner, the German writer, put it, nothing good happens unless you do it. In German it rhymes. Let's take a look at which essences belong in a blend that brings us the power of the south. Because there is no single essence that stands for the south. That is an abstract category. Rome is in the south when you're in Berlin, but in the north when you're in Cape Town. It's about the principle of the south. In keywords, the South stands for grounding, feelings, passion, community, growth and love. The South essence consists of 5 parts. In detail, these are: first, white rose. A Bach flower has actually been mixed in with the medicine wheel essences. This is no coincidence, as it particularly appeals to people who are sluggish and apathetic, meaning the exact opposite of the Southern archetype, which is active and proactive. People who are not bored and do nothing when they are here, but are passionately creative. The South, summer, adolescence. This does not stand for disinterest and lethargy, as represented by a typical candidate for white rose. It is precisely this person that the essence is intended to help on his feet, so that he can learn the value of the South and grow from it. Those who do not dare to enter the medicine wheel will find powerful support in white rose. Second, sunflower seed. The seeds are sown in the east, meaning in spring. In summer, the young plants need to be protected and nurtured. As a carrier of masculine energy, the sunflower is a powerful protector. This essence combines the qualities of aspiration and assertiveness. The seed itself is still vulnerable, and yet it already contains everything that will make up the future sunflower, whose flower head symbolizes the summer sun. Third, summer thunderstorm. Emotions can sometimes run high, sometimes too high. Feelings pile up, build up, and when they are released, it is not necessarily pleasant. This essence was created with rainwater from a heavy summer thunderstorm in August. It can release energies held in unfinished business, in old conflicts, and at the same time maintain inner balance, stability in the unpredictability, centering in the storm of discharging pent-up energies. At the end of the catharsis comes calm, serenity, and openness to new things. And it is still summer. The time is powerful, it is warm, and you feel good. This essence takes away our fear of feelings that can arise. May it serve as a teacher. Let's let out what needs to be let out and use it to clarify the situation as a preparation for reconciliation and peace. In this way, the thunderstorm can serve us as a teacher, not to destroy anything important to us, but to express the unresolved and to clear the atmosphere and benefit from it. Taken on its own, the essence of the summer thunderstorm brings cleansing, liberation, and clarification. Accumulated aggression finds an outlet and is discharged. You gain the strength to stand up to aggression. You realize the causes of the quarrel and learn to resolve them. Fourth, carnelian. Carnelian is the stone of the South. Its essence stabilizes you in the present, concentrates your thinking, and prevents you from sinking into daydreaming and illusions. It restores motivation and re-energizes when you have lost your vitality. It has a protective effect if you are prone to jealousy, resentment, and anger, and your feelings become overwhelming. It teaches you to trust yourself and encourages you to accept life again. Carnelian essence keeps the emotions in balance. It gives us strength and stamina, especially when we strive for the extraordinary, be it in our profession, in science, in sport, in art, or whatever drives us. Stumbling blocks and obstacles on this path must be overcome, and carnelian is the stone that supports you, even if you have placed the obstacles in your own way. For example, by adopting harmful habits, drinking too much, or taking drugs. In such cases, its detoxifying effect comes into play. Carnelian is a friendly and cheerful stone. It promotes friendship, togetherness, and pleasure. It makes socializing easy and promotes a sense of belonging. Finally, the bear. The guardian angel of the south is the bear. It symbolizes female energy and thus complements the energy of the sunflower. Bears mate during 1 month in summer. Otherwise, males and females go their separate ways. The family consists only of mother and child. For the single mother bear, the focus is on protecting and rearing her cub. She is an excellent teacher and does not tolerate any disturbances. It is better not to mess with the mother bear, as she is fast, agile and strong. Raising her cubs takes 3 years. An important part of the bear's education is preparing for winter. The bear thinks ahead and teaches her children to do the same. Bears are good at being alone. Their sociable phase falls in the summer, which, as we know, is the time of the south. Otherwise, they don't let loneliness drive them crazy when they retreat into their den all winter long. They fueled up on sociability. In shamanism, bears are masters of the dream world, as they have plenty of time to dream. They find answers to urgent questions within themselves. As power animals or totems, they show us how to turn our dreams into reality. Keywords for the bear power are insight, solitude, change, transformation, vision, death and rebirth, astral traveling and spiritual communication, and wisdom. The combined energy of the wild rose, sunflower seed, summer thunderstorm, carnelian and bear outlines the character of the south. At the zenith of your physical strength, knowing where you come from and planning for the time ahead, you can fully savor the south and integrate all that it has to offer. Growth, trust and love are the forces of the south. Embracing them makes the path into and through the medicine wheel easier.